scanner and a Labscope can give you a lot of information, but it's only as good as you know how to use that tool, as you know how to navigate around your Labscope. So this is how to use your Labscope when you want to look at two things. We're going to use two channels, that we happen to have two cam sensors. I've had many requests on scanner and Labscope use. So today we're going to show you how to use the scanner and the Labscope. Of course, you know the first thing we have to do is enter the vehicle, 2003 Nissan Murano. We've got that entered, we're going to go to the scanner. Once in the scanner, we're going to check engine. I'm going to go to codes, I'm going to do codes only. Our codes, P0345, cam position sensor problem bank 2. Now exactly what does that mean? Okay, right from here we're going to leave that as it is, and I'm actually going to minimize it. And I'm going to open up Internet Explorer. Now my particular information system is all data. So I'm going to go to all data. Select the vehicle. I've already got this entered, 2003 Nissan. It's a P code. Select the P code. We're going to scroll down until we get to P0345. P0345. Now you need to gather information. Your information source, as you scroll down here, there's all kinds of information about this. I'm not going to take the time to show that to you. You need to do that on your own. Now another thing we can do is we can actually minimize this. We'll bring up the Verus again. We can go into the component test. So I come out of this, I want to go into component test. We're going to import a Nissan and its fuel injection. The same thing, Murano. Now, since we have a cam sensor problem, I'm going to go into the cam sensor. I'm going to open up the cam sensor, go to component information. The same thing, this is going to tell you about this component. It says it's a 3-wire connector. 1 is the ground, 2 is the sensor, and 3 is your ignition plus. As we scroll down here, it says that there's a cam sensor 1 and a cam sensor 2. It's a V6 engine. There's one on each side. After we read about the component information, we're going to go to tests. Now I'm going to do a signature test. When I click on this, it's going to tell me the same thing about the connector. It should use a Labscope, and our signal should look like this. The waveform should look like this. This is a square wave for a known good cam sensor. Okay, now that we've got our component information, we know we got a cam sensor problem. Let's go see if we can find the data. Let's go back to scanner, click on engine, and go to data. There's two groups of data. We're going to go to data number 1. Now all the data for data number 1 is listed over here. We can scroll down here. We're going to scroll down there and look for a cam sensor. I've already reviewed all this, and there's no cam sensor PID or data information on engine data number 1. So we're going to exit that. We're going to go to engine data number 2. This is a different set of data, but we're finding the same thing. There is no data PID that we can look at under engine data 1 or 2. So at this point, the scan tool is not going to be much help to us. We're going to have to actually go to the Labscope.
Okay, at this point we are going to switch from the scanner to the Labscope. It is important that you understand the difference. The scanner connects through the 16-pin diagnostic connector. The data comes directly from the ECM. The scanner digitizes or converts that data and then stores it. The key word here is stores. It is not live. It is recent, yes, but it is not live. The Labscope connects through the ports on the top of the tool using various adapters and plugins. It is a live display, not stored and then displayed. There is no storage. You can pause or use a screen capture, but when you are viewing the display, it is live.
Now it's time to actually go out to the component and test it. Now the cam sensor for this bank is right up here. We've already tapped into that wire with a wire probe, and that lead comes out so that I can take this to my Labscope. we're going to view our meter, and the meter comes up. This is a 4-channel Labscope. You'll see we got yellow, green, blue, and red. That corresponds to the top. Yellow, green, blue, and red. We're going to use the yellow, which is channel 1. So I'm going to go to the top of the scope, and I'm going to plug my black lead into the ground, the common. Now you'll notice here, there's two. One has a flattened top, the other one makes it so you can actually piggyback another lead into that. So for right now, I'm going to put that one into the ground and put the yellow in the yellow lead. We take the black, we put it to the battery negative. What I like to do before I do any testing is make sure my leads are actually going to read right. So I'm going to take my yellow lead and hook it up to the battery positive. Now you see we're reading 12.12 volts. And if you look down at the yellow trace, there's 0 volts to 12 volts. So we're showing 12 volts. That means my leads, I've verified that my leads are actually hooked up right and working. So now I take this off of the battery and I hook it up to the lead that is probed into that wire. Now we're reading 9.8 volts. So now we're tapped into the cam sensor. Let's start the car. Okay, we've got a signal here of some kind, but it's not real good to see yet. We're reading 1.9 volts, but I want to see this. All I'm seeing is the tops. So you can come over here and you can drag this trace upward, and now you can see the tops, the bottoms and the tops. We've got a good steady baseline, and we've got a good waveform. Go back to your information system. That will explain this waveform and tell you that it's a good waveform. Now our complaint was cam position sensor number 2 had a fault. Right now we don't see a fault. We don't want to jump to conclusions here because sometimes problems are intermittent. So we're going to let this run for a while and just see what happens. Now as you can tell, we were hooked up to that signal and we actually had a good signal. We started the car several times and we let it run for a while and the signal dropped out. So as you can see, we've got no voltage here. We're reading no voltage and no signal. So you might tap into this at a time when that sensor is actually sending a signal, and then you might tap into it when it's actually dropped out, and it would look like this. So let's say that that's the case. You got a cam sensor 2 that's dropped out and you tap into it like this and you have no voltage. Now if you just happen to tap into this at the very beginning and this is what you were seeing, you wouldn't know if that was good or bad. Now we've got 2 cam sensors on here, so let's actually compare to the second cam sensor. Now the cam sensor for the back bank is located back here. We've done the same thing. We've tapped into that wire, and I've got a lead now so that we can actually look at the back cam sensor as well. So I'm going to put the second cam sensor on the second trace. I'm going to use my green leads. Go up here and plug into the green. Now you see why we piggyback the common. Over here we can piggyback the black on there, and both commons are hooked up. Now we're going to take our green alligator clip and we're going to hook it up to the lead coming off of the back cam sensor. Now you go over to the green lead, we've got it all hooked up. I want to verify that this lead is good. Now this is why I like to do this. We're hooked up to the cam sensor in the back. It should be reading. I'm reading no voltage. Now let's first see if our lead is good. So I'm going to take it loose here. I'm going to hook my lead up to the battery. I'm hooked up to the battery. I'm still reading no voltage. Now this is why you need to do this, so you can make sure you won't waste a lot of time. This lead needs to be turned on. We're on the yellow trace. So you need to go up here to traces. You'll see I am on trace 1, which is yellow. It's set for 20 volts and it's checked displayed. Let's go to trace number 2. which is our green trace. It is not displayed, so I'm going to check displayed to display it, and I'm going to change this down to 20 volts, which is the same as the other one was. And hit OK and OK. Now you can see that I'm reading 13.9 volts, so I'm reading battery voltage. So I've just confirmed that my Labscope leads are actually hooked up and working. Now that we've verified that our leads are working, I'm going to disconnect from the battery. It's going to go down to 0 volts. And I'm going to connect to the alligator clip that's on cam 2. Now as soon as I do that, you can see we've got a signal coming from cam 2. And it's green. I want to move this so I can see it a little bit better, so I'm going to drag this second one up a little bit higher. Now remember, cam 1 was the yellow trace, and we're still reading 0. Cam 2 is the green trace, or the cam sensor on bank 1. And you can see our voltage. A scanner and a Labscope can give you a lot of information, but it's only as good as you know how to use that tool, as you know how to navigate around your Labscope.